Single out salute. I'm Lord Maitreya, the hip hop futurist. You're now tuned into the Super Longevity Institute podcast. This evening, I have a very special guest. He's an author, speaker, and CEO of Hiphop Motivation. Hiphop Motivation is a personal development company that targets culture of hip hop through all forms of self-help, literature, and entertainment, like the film and book series The Secret to Ballin Journey, Culture Vultures, Conversations with Dame Dash, as well as audio play Think and Ball Out. He began as a barber for artists like Kanye West, T.I., Young Jeezy, and Dame Dash. Ladies and gentlemen, hip hop futurists worldwide, hip hop's motivational speaker and CEO of Hiphop Motivation, Kenyatta Griggs. Welcome to the Institute, my brother. Peace.
Man, everything's good, man. Thanks for having me. What's happening with you?
Yo, man, everything is good, man. You're on the West Coast, right?
Yeah, I'm out here in LA. Definitely.
Wow, yo. How'd you get into like this? You know who you remind me of? You remind me of like a modern day Napoleon Hill, yo. You so necessary. Like, how'd you even like? Where did you find the inspiration to come up with Ballin, the Ball Out series, the audio series, Think and Ball Out? Like, what inspired you to come? How did that whole thing come about? Like, because we definitely need motivation in hip hop. We need some encouraging words. We need to know how to materialize our thoughts and stuff like that, all our dreams. Right. What got you into all of that?
Well, it's crazy. You said Napoleon Hill. That was one of the great books that I read that motivated me in taking things to the next level. But what happened was I used to listen to Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich, on audio in my car, and I used to, be with my homeboys. We go into the club or something that accidentally come on. Like if I turned on my car, and they would hear the audio book and be like, "Man, what the hell are you listening to?" And you hear this white guy with a weird corny voice talking, and they just didn't understand like what I was listening to, But I was already aware and hip to the game. Like I look beyond the words or what race someone is when they speaking. If it's knowledge, I'm going to it. And so what I said, what if I make something that speaks the language we speak and talks how we talk with the same energy, and package it up and give them the same type of information. And that's what I did when I created Think and Ball Out. Yeah, and including naming the company Hiphop Motivation.
Yo, man, it's mad necessary, man. Like, you like a hip hop Les Brown out there. Like, yo, you heard Les Brown, right? That was a man, yo.
Shout out to Les Brown. It's my homeboy. Yeah, I was cutting him for years. That's who
Get the
actually,
fuck out of here.
Yeah,
you was cutting his hair?
Actually, I gave him a copy of Think and Ball Out, which is my first audio book that I did. I didn't know how to write a book at the time, but I had access to record the book. And so I went, because I was managing a songwriter producer at the time named Henny the Business. And he did a lot of stuff for Young Money, and he did Strip for Chris Brown. He did Follow My Lead for 50. He did My President is Black for Jeezy. And, I had something to do with him actually spreading his wings in the game in the beginning of his career. And I just recorded that audio book with him. You know what I'm saying? And I gave a copy to Les Brown when I saw him out one day, and with my card, and he called me the next day, and we became friends from there. And I was cutting his hair for like a few years. He used to be back and forth from between LA and Vegas, but he moved back, I think, back to Detroit. Or he's all over the place, but still a great guy, and I learned a lot from him. He taught me the game. He shared a lot of insight on how to do things within the industry. And it's funny because something that I'm about to share as far as a seminar online course that I'm about to do is teaching people how to write their own manuscripts, do their own audio books, and, really get into the game with, building their product brand, around their brand as a human being, because each person has their own unique creativity that they need to bring forth, in different ways. Everybody's not a barber. Everyone is not a mechanic, a beautician, a doctor, a lawyer, whatever, but we all have the one thing in common is that we all have a personal brand that we actually express to the world, and this brand, whether we know it or not, actually transcends what we will actually, be and live, it will transcend us living, what I'm saying? Because people will either learn from us or they'll learn what to do or what not to do, paying attention to our brands as people. And that's what's important. You're going to leave something anyway. You're going to teach someone what not to do or what to do. And it's very important that we just be conscious of our actions and conscious how we approach different things in life, and try to put forth the best version of ourselves on a day-to-day basis. And
No
that's what
doubt.
Les Brown really hit me to more than anything else, as far as really how to package things up. But he
That's
actually told me not to
crazy.
release my product, release Thinking Ball Out first,
Get
which
out of
is why right
here.
now, since I did Culture Vultures and the tons of videos I did with Dame, and I did me and Dame was doing that 6 years straight.
Y'all
He
was
told me
killing it.
initially, yeah,
I
he
was
told
listening.
me
I was seen
initially,
all of
don't.
them, yo.
Mhm.
My
Yeah, he
bad. Go
told
ahead.
me not to release Thinking. No, it's all good. He told
Mm.
me not to release Thinking Ball Out because it was about my story on how I started Hip Hop Motivation and
Mm.
wrote the project Thinking Ball Out because I got shot the day I came up with the name
Yeah, I was
Hip
like,
Hop
who?
Motivation and everything. Word.
I was like, who
Yeah,
was
he
you?
told me don't connect it. He said don't connect my brand to that right off. So, and it made sense. At first, it didn't make sense when he first told me that because
Right.
in my mind, I'm like, man, what the hell is this thing talking about? Like, he's old ass man. Like, he don't know what he's talking about. But then it made sense later on because, I now have something to share with someone and sell beyond just saying, oh, I got shot, so listen to me. Like
Oh,
most rappers do. And that's
right.
like, it's like that shouldn't be my selling point. My
Right.
selling point, it should be my talent and who I am as a person, opposed to the hardships or the contracts that I went through to get where I'm at today.
When I was doing some more research, I was like, "Who was you?" I said, "These people are it's
Mm,
crazy." I said, "Kenyatta is like the most
mm.
you could see the humbleness and the wisdom coming from you." I was like, "Who's gonna shoot Kenyatta Griggs, yo?" I was like, "What
No,
kind of
yeah,
whack
word.
person gonna
Appreciate it.
do that, yo?" You could tell. I mean, I'm from.
Yeah, nah,
I,
it was a random
it had to be
situation,
random.
like anything else,
Yeah,
right?
it had to be random.
Right.
I was like,
But it
Kenyatta,
was
you could
something that
tell.
had to happen. Yeah.
Yeah, I
It's
was
something
like,
that had to happen in order to bring me forth. You know how
no doubt.
things go. It's like, we learn through contrast, we grow through
That's true.
contrast.
That's
And
true.
what would life be unless what would pleasure truly be unless we felt some form of pain or doing without? Like we've all felt the feeling of not having.
No
And so,
doubt.
like everything in this world, now that I stand on the foundation of natural law and I understand that
Yes,
everything holds
yes.
polarity, and the rhythm and the pendulum swing of life is based on there will be ups and downs, and there will be things that you will have to go through in order to grow, whether you like it or not. Like right
Yeah.
now, there's a situation with my family where I had to take custody of my children,
Right.
and it was something that most men, it becomes uncomfortable at times because most men are good at being fathers, but they're not good at being mothers. And so
You ain't
I
lying.
had to really sit back and look at that. And when I really looked at it and connected it to natural law, that's also a falsehood because the masculine principle is within all men and all women anyway. So
Mm,
you just not understanding that the feminine principle is always there. You
that's
just
right.
have to use it when it comes to your children on
That's
that
right.
basis, you know what I'm saying, and keep the equilibrium of balance within the household.
No
And
doubt.
since I started looking at things that way, things became easier.
You ever read that book, The Kabbalion? It's called
Of
The Kabbalion.
course,
Yeah,
absolutely,
it's
of
classic,
course.
right?
Yeah, emerald
Emerald,
tablets.
the Emerald
Because natural law is
tablets.
everything.
Yeah,
No matter what you believe, you can't go against natural law. That's
that's
law.
right.
Those are principles, and
Yeah, that's
principle
right.
means chief, necessary. So that stands above everything. No matter what religion you believe, you can't outdo natural law.
What's your favorite
Especially
bookstores?
not the first three principles.
What's your favorite bookstores out in Cali where you at? Because I know here in New York City there used to be an ill bookstore that I used to work for. It's not there no more. It's called East West Books,
Mm.
and I spent 5 years. I just wanted to
Mm.
work and read. I was young, and I
Yeah,
read everything I got
word.
my hands on. And it was a real small
Man, that's
bookstore.
that. I've heard. It's crazy. I've heard of that bookstore too. One of my boys, John Robinson, shout him out. He,
No doubt.
he hit me to that, and then Talib had a bookstore out there as well. I heard
Mm-hmm.
back in the day. Yeah. So
I
yeah, but the
remember that, no
bookstores I
doubt.
like out here. It used to be a bookstore out here called the Bodhi Tree, but they shut that one down. It used to be on Melrose, and then they have a
Mm.
bookstore right now called open what's it called, Coat Eye Bookstore or something like that, and it's in the Valley,
Mm.
and I stay in there. So because I study occult knowledge, so
Right.
you don't see too many black people in that bookstore
Nah.
because what's been taught to us is that occult knowledge is devil worship and
Yeah.
it's against God and this and that, but nothing that is created is against God other than man's own understanding of the level of understanding that person has. You know what I'm saying?
No
Evil
doubt.
is based on your perception, and there is right and wrong in the universe, but it's based on, again, it's how you look at it. Because
Exactly.
things have to, you can't get rid of the bad
Yeah.
and think you can just keep the good, and you can't just keep the good without having some bad. It's going to be a polarity of both energies always existing, just
No
like what we're
doubt.
seeing in the world today.
I used to. at East West, Bobby Hemmitt used to come in. I used to talk to him all the time. That was my man, yo.
Oh, word,
He
man.
used to come in all the
I
time.
wish I could. I still want to meet that guy, man. I told Panic that when I just talked to him. I was like, I still want to meet
Yo,
Bobby, man. He's one of my favorites.
me
Yeah,
and Bobby Hemmitt used to, yo, he was a cool cat. He's a cool cat, that's for sure. And he used to come in the
absolutely. I can see.
bookstore,
Yeah.
and I remember he used to be in. I'm trying to remember the section he used to go in. I think it was like the ancient wisdom section. It was like the ancient
Mm-hmm.
culture section. I used to catch him in there. I used to be like, yo, Bobby, what's up,
Mm-hmm.
man? It was like, I was
Mm-hmm.
like, yo, what's good? He used to tell me,
Mm-hmm.
he used to throw books at me. We used to build. We used to debate. It was mad debates in there, man. And so when I
Oh
read your
yeah,
book,
absolutely.
Culture Vultures and stuff, I was like, Kenyatta.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, man, he remind me of some of the customers that used to come in there and was ill
Yeah.
and just picked
Right.
out the
Right.
illest books and East West books. I was like, I know
Right.
he tapped into this
Oh
wisdom,
yeah.
yo. You know what
Oh
I'm
yeah,
saying?
I'm a reader, man. I love reading, man. I have stuff on my phone and my Kindle. I have physical copies I buy. I always try to build my library up, you know what
Me
I'm
too,
saying, and just
man.
staying tuned with, taking in some good information, man. Not every book is gonna be your frequency at the time, but
No
I
doubt.
buy things anyway, and then eventually, you come around to reading a
Mm-hmm.
certain book, or knowing that you flip open the page and it's something staring you right in the face that really hits you,
Mm-hmm.
like I shared today, like with a friend of mine's, about this chapter I read in John Bain's book, the
Mm.
love and science, the art and science of love, and he was talking about how solitude is very important in all relationships, and
Definitely.
and not losing your individuality,
That's right.
and it makes sense on all relationships, friendships. Your relationship with the universe is based on you really embracing your own unique creativity, and embracing solitude, quiet time.
No doubt.
Meditation is so important, and
Oh
it's
yeah.
overlooked. Yeah,
Do you meditate?
every
Or do
day, all through the
wow.
day, every day. Yeah, that's your power source. If
Mm.
once you tap into meditation, it's like, and the feeling and the vibration, the frequency raise that you feel from meditation, it becomes addictive. It becomes addictive, definitely. I'm actually pretty addicted to sitting still, quieting the mind throughout the day.
Mm.
Because you can get bogged down with so much stuff and things coming at you. All the stuff on the news and television, Corona, this, that, that's, everything's just being thrown at you. But
It's crazy.
my belief is that all is mind, the mind is all, and the
That's right.
universe is mental.
Right.
And so we all have to quiet the mind. We have to sit still.
Right.
We have to build and really tap into that power source within ourselves that,
Mm.
actually increases our frequency as human beings. But a lot of us, we have low frequencies because we don't participate in meditation. The only meditation we usually get is right before sleep, which
You
is
ain't
okay
lying.
too, you know.
Um,
Yeah.
how did you all right. How did you start um who was your first cuz I know you're a barber and you cut for a lot of
Mm-hmm.
you cut hair for a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people. Who was the first famous person you
Right.
cut hair? The first person you
Um,
started to cut, like the first famous person.
well, on the tip of, like, the first thing I really did was I started cutting hair for a client of mine. It's not a guy named Walter. What was his name? I forgot his last name, but he did, like, he was like a actor that used to be on. He had reoccurring roles on a show called Homeboys in Outer Space, and that
Mm.
was my first actual set job where I actually went to a set, cut someone, and I was just proud of the whole situation, and I bragged on it as if I was cutting the stars of the show, and then I was on there every day.
No
You
doubt.
couldn't tell me nothing. I was like,
No
damn,
doubt.
I did it. You know what I'm saying? And because I also know that, you have to putting extras on things is actually a power as well. I learned late
Mm.
in my later years, and from me putting extras on the fact that I was on set, it also attracted, and the gratitude I showed for being on set, it
Mm-hmm.
attracted more jobs and more situations where I was able to, you
Mm.
know, that I brought into my life from now meeting entertainers, because he wasn't famous on that level. He was like a, actor that would just do jobs on different shows here and
No
here,
doubt.
here and there. And, he's a great guy, what I'm saying? I was just glad that he gave me the opportunity to go on set. But from there, I started cutting people like the Rockefeller crew, and Ti's camp, and of course Kanye West in his early years, and
Mm.
and it just kept going, man. And I'm just naming a few. I mean, from Flow Rider to everybody in the Wu Tang,
That's crazy.
and all of them my favorites, but I have my favorites because my frequency is on the same frequency as some people. You
No
know what I'm
doubt.
saying? And from Jeezy to Raekwon the Chef,
No
Meth,
doubt.
Red, which is a good friend of mine who'll be here at the end of this month. And I just, I stayed in tune with gratitude and acting as if it was just such a big deal, because really in reality, everything is a big deal,
Right, right.
and you put the extras on it. If you put extras on negativity, it becomes a bigger deal.
That's right.
So why not put extras on positivity and make
Mm,
it that much more a bigger deal? So we have a choice in the scenario of what we put extras on, and I
no
believe in
doubt.
putting extras on the positive.
Gratitude
Word.
is definitely important, and it's funny because some people don't like to show gratitude for some reason, but it's always a good thing to show gratitude. And I think that you pointing out showing gratitude will bring you more. It'll attract more of the good things that you want in your life. And but what do you think?
Absolutely.
Because all right, you read a lot of Napoleon Hill. What do you feel? How?
Mm-hmm.
What's the keys to manifesting your dreams, like the things that you think in your head? To because they, when I was used to work at East West Books, they always used to say, I used to always hear this, thoughts is things. I used to always hear that. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And I used to, you know what I'm saying? So when you coming from the bottom and you don't really have much, you know what I'm saying? But the clothes on your back and the food that you eat, it's
Absolutely.
these things are important. I'm telling you, it got me by. You know what I'm saying? Reading those materials
Yeah.
and trying to manifest
Absolutely.
exactly what I'm thinking in my head. What is some of the things that you like? If I want to achieve a goal, what is your suggestion? How should I go about it? Like, how should I? What should I do to attract the things that I want in my life? Like, what's the process from your
Well, the
standpoint?
process that I've used that has always worked for me, because I can only speak what's worked for me. I've read different things in books. I've heard thoughts of things, and they absolutely are.
Mm-hmm.
But the first thing, more than anything else, you have to really tune in and tap into the heart chakra, to what's
Mm-hmm.
going on in your heart. What do you really, what is your heart desire? Because the mind sometimes can have you desiring a certain job, a certain lifestyle, but that's not really in your heart.
Mm-hmm.
The trade you might be going into. So I believe that the heart frequency is the most powerful frequency,
Mm-hmm.
because you have to feel whatever you're doing, and the feeling always gets the blessing. And so from feeling something, whatever you feel is a part of you. Whatever you feel is your purpose, and you just start working at it. You put forth action. And because I understand natural law, I always connect all those principles with everything I do, where I say, like, I understand the law of rhythm states that rhythm compensates. The
Mm-hmm.
swing to the left is the measure of the swing to the right. But the last line is the line that people overlook, and that is that rhythm compensates, meaning that whatever you put in, you'll get out. Now,
Right.
if you push the swing a little bit, you
Mm-hmm.
get a little bit back. Now, if you go hard, it's gonna come back to you hard. It's gonna come back just as strong. And so it's just the same principle, like when we take our children to a park, or when you were a child, if you don't have children, that when you got swung on the when you were swinging on the swing, as hard as they pushed you, as hard as you came back. You
Mm-hmm.
don't get pushed soft and then come back hard. It's always an equal balance to initially how it starts. But a lot of times people get caught up in the pullback of the swing, and then they
Mm-hmm.
never make moves. The pullback of the swing would be just the thought to have the thing without taking action. But you have
Right.
to let go of the swing in order for it to work. And letting go of it is pulling the trigger on your dreams and your desires and your passion and your purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Because the sexiest thing for a woman with a man is his purpose. And
Mm-hmm.
it's also the most beautiful thing for a man to see a woman with a purpose.
Yeah, you ain't
It
lying.
works both ways, because we're both just pieces of the same thing. We both
That's
have the
right.
masculine and feminine principle. And
Mm.
so thoughts are things. Thoughts is DNA. Thoughts is seed. It's semen. It's sperm. If you're not a virgin, you understand the sex principle. You know the
Mm.
subconscious mind, which is the feminine aspect of yourself, is wide
Mm.
open. Her legs is open for you to plant that seed, and she's gonna give birth to it.
No doubt.
Whatever you want, whatever you desire, the
Mm.
conscious masculine principle has to spit that DNA of desire
Mm.
right into the subconscious principle, and then you'll see manifestation. And so, if you
Mm.
understand these principles and you understand that you move based on your heart
Mm.
opposed to moving on your mind, because the mind can be tricky, because the mind will have you thinking money before you develop your skills.
Yeah,
The
you ain't
mind will
lying.
have you thinking fame before you really develop your skills. And that's what you see a lot of times right now in hip hop. It
Yeah,
was a time when people really embraced being a dope MC,
the
but
craft.
nowadays you see people just looking at, let me just get out there so I get the money, get the girls, and do this and that.
Yeah.
And then it's like it's a one shot, it's a one hit wonder. And you don't really see them coming back with too much more after that. And if they do, it's the same sound and there's no innovation. And that's what's really happened to music itself, is because you have people nowadays are just carbon copies of something else, and they're not trying to innovate and not trying to really, not that you have to reinvent the wheel, but you definitely want to add something new to bring something new to the table.
Exactly.
That's why I like people opposed to what he was doing. I like people like R. Kelly that was, writing stuff, trying to take things to the next level. People like Nas and Michael Jackson, Prince, Jay-Z even, it's like people that, think outside the box. You know what I'm saying? Biggie was one of my favorites because Biggie, to me, was he was such a next level MC and lyricist, to where I'm out here on the West Coast and I love Biggie more than I loved anyone. Like Biggie was like, when I first heard Biggie, it changed my life to seeing like, well, you know what, rapping is so far beyond me, because I used to try to rhyme and MC, but I was like, man, I'm glad I'm not in the game. That dude right there, woo.
Yeah, that was a cold.
Because that's not my passion. Like it's his, but you can see, you knew it was his passion because the way he rhymed, it was just a lot on it. It was serious. When you heard him, you knew what time it was. You know what I'm saying?
And think about what he was doing.
That's what it's about. Absolutely, I'm gonna turn some of this light on too, because the sun going down here in LA. But I'm gonna scoot over a little bit.
Think about what he was doing.
It's just based on.
He said it's all a dream. He heard Up magazine. It's like life after death. That's why we have to be conscious of what we say and do. And you know what?
Absolutely.
You just reminded me. I was just looking at KRS-One just dropped a new video, some Temple of Hip Hop stuff, and he said the same thing that you said about the heart chakra, yo. Word up.
Yeah.
He said the same thing. He said, yo, you got to connect to your heart chakra. You got to connect. You have to feel this.
Yeah.
I said, he said
the
same
heart
thing.
chakra is the most powerful frequency, man. It's I don't know. Let me see. Is my let me see. I think my earpiece went off, but I'm gonna share with you from what I've read. I read a hold on one second.
Sure,
Let me make
take
sure,
your time, boss.
because I don't want the sound to be dropped on the jewelry being still out there. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Okay, hold on one second. Let me get
Sure.
my earpiece right. I'm back with you. All right, there we go. All right, I think we on. No, but I read a book called The Opening of the Way, and in actuality, that was a book that I heard Bobby Hemmitt talk about on one of his speeches from back in the day, and I bought the book. I think it's out of print now, but it may be some places you can get it, as well as a book called The Magician by Philip Cooper. But the book that really goes into the heart chakra is The Opening of the Way, and it talks about how the heart chakra is the most powerful frequency that we all possess. And in actuality, the heart chakra represents Isis, which is Aset out of ancient Kim, and it is the crossroad of everyone's life. And that's why we have 4 chambers, and that cross that you see in the pattern of the heart is based on, that's the crossroad that takes you to the upper chakras, the higher chakras, and the higher frequency of yourself. And so once you go past that and you understand that real love is internal love, is true love, love for self.
Right.
And it's that's why so many relationships and friendships become impossible to even have, because people don't take the time to really truly love themselves.
You ain't lying.
And you can't give someone something that you're not giving yourself.
That's right.
It's utterly impossible. You can think you are, but love is not an outside thing. It's an inner job that we all have to partake in through the heart chakra.
Yeah. That's why in Buddhism they always talk about compassion. They know that, compassion will figure out everything. Compassion will figure that out. The heart chakra, the compassion, the open heart will figure everything out, man.
Empathy, compassion, all those great words that define, the heart frequency. And what it's not is not feeling sorry. It's not feeling bad on that level. What it is a feeling that's an inner feeling that just draws you to it, because being that is the most powerful frequency that we all have. When you understand the law of vibration, you understand that we transmit who we are as people through our heart chakra. How we feel attracts more of the feeling blessing.
That's right.
It pulls it in. It's sort of like the fishing pole. I don't know if you've been fishing. When you put bait on the line, you transmit that line out into the water.
That's right.
And whatever that bait, the frequency of that bait is, it's going to catch that thing. You won't see a shark go after a worm. But you will see certain small fish go after it. And so depending on the bait that you put on that hook, depending on the frequency that you transmit, that's what you get back. And it's always going to happen that way. And that's where the law of attraction comes from, which is the law of vibration connected to the law of correspondence, that as above, so below. The outside world is a reflection of the inner world, which also is why the Saturn and Jupiter conjunction that just took place
What's up with that?
is so powerful, because all that stuff is going on within each and every one of us. That 0 degree reset that took place. And so that shift is, and the planet Saturn is the planet of reaping and sowing. It is the planet of karma. And so going back to the law of rhythm, what I stated before about how you put forth effort and how you achieve your dreams, whatever it is, you put forth action. And right now, if you put forth action for the next 2 years, 2.5 years, right now, because the frequency of Saturn and Jupiter are in conjunction, and this hasn't happened in about over 800 years, it's actually going to be amplified, whatever you put your mind to and whatever you put your heart in. So it's amplified at this moment.
That's what's up, man. Thanks for dropping those jewels, man. I mean, what you've been doing with the Hip Hop Motivation, actually, I'm the prime result of what you was doing with the Hip Hop Motivation, the boiling out, the conversation, the culture, vultures, all of that. I'm a prime result of what you're doing. I was inspired by what you did, Kenyatta, and I want to tell you that personally. Like, I really appreciate what you was doing with that, because I understood. I knew exactly where you was coming from. I said, damn, hip hop, this is necessary right now. We really need this. All the beefs going on, all the, you know what I'm saying? I just feel like in the culture of hip hop right now, it just feels like people are kind of lost a little bit and need to find, I shouldn't say lost. I feel like we need balance. That's what we need, balance. And I felt like what you was doing was really good balance. It was start of something.
Yeah, my intention, and it's beautiful to hear you say that, brother, because
serious,
I hear it. I've heard it before. At first, it was interesting because I didn't really do it for really truly any form of recognition. I just knew that people needed it because I'm in tune. I'm connected to the streets.
No doubt.
And it's safe to say, and I used to tell Dame this, I'm more connected to the streets than Dame is because I'm a barber.
Right.
I'm the heart and soul of the black community.
You know what I'm
saying? And so
that's true.
What he couldn't tell me nothing I ain't heard, or because it was like,
no doubt.
You know what I'm saying? I'm connected to people. Daily, I'm meeting people, talking to people, and people from all walks of life. The gang,
you hear it all.
I'm talking to the lawyer. I cut judges. I cut hardcore niggas and then kill people. You know what I'm saying? I'm in LA, so it's like I know that everyone has a need and everyone needs, this information, because not everyone had the pleasure and the beauty of having a father in their life, you know what I'm saying? Right. Or a real true masculine principle that could really give them some game and sharpen they tools up and send them on their way. And so I knew that me and Dame connected always, because I'm more in the masculine principle of myself, but I have a great balance, and Dame does also.
No doubt.
I wanted to show masculinity, man. I wanted to show like men building about masculine things, not sitting up gossiping, talking about who's the best rapper and all this, and that's cool if that's what you do. But I just feel like, man, people have, we haven't really reached, a certain level as a collective body of people. And I know it's not going to be all of us that get there, but damn, man, like, why not give people something of substance that they can eat off of and actually do for themselves? You know what I'm saying? Noriega came to me and Dame when he first started Drink Champs and told me and Dame that we was the inspiration for him doing Drink Champs. And
I'm not surprised.
That was such an ill film. We got it on
glad
tape.
Nori's dope.
And I was like, because Dame wanted me to hear it because Dame had told me that, and I was like, yeah, right. Like, I didn't really look at it like we was doing such a big thing when I was recording those videos with Dame. I just looked at it like I'm with my homeboy, and we're building on man principles and really how to become a better entrepreneur, because Dame has gained and lost so much in the industry.
That's right.
And it's based on his own situations he had with Rockefeller, with Jay-Z and them and whatever. Incredible. And there's no right and wrong to it. It's just the pendulum swing of life. The pendulum swing of life is in business, relationships, friendships, family. It's everything. Once upon a time, we was both little kids. Now we're adults, and we're continuing to mature. You know what I'm saying? And everyone has a date. There's life and there's death.
That's right.
You can't escape it. So, I wanted to just share that much with everybody, where I just sat back and I didn't really talk too much, and I would chime in every now and then, but And that's why everybody just thought I was just like, oh, they were like, whoa, this guy, who is this guy? Like, I just was letting him talk because I knew the only way to really get people's ears and people really to really truly listen, because the indoctrination of programming on television, the media, and all the music and movies and stuff like that is because everyone's so surface.
That's right.
You know, not that Dame is all surface, but I know that Dame talks that surface talk.
No doubt.
You know, they ain't talk that money talk. They ain't talk that old fly boy talk.
No doubt.
And you know what I'm saying? But if I come in with just natural law and I'm trying to give it to you, you might not be ready for that frequency.
No doubt.
You know, but I feel like we elevated people enough to really be ready for more to the story. Sure did. Because there's an inner job that has to take place before you see any outer results. Definitely.
No doubt. And so how did Coach, what was the story about? I was like, yo, when y'all dropped Culture Vultures, you see me, I had the pictures, I was full. Right. I was like, these dudes is ill. When y'all dropped Culture Vultures, I said, yo, they ain't playing no games out there. I said,
Culture Vultures.
Culture
man,
Vultures. I said, y'all ain't playing. I said, y'all not playing.
Yeah. That was a big deal, because to me it was like it was talked about when I did Think and Ball Out. If you go to my project Think and Ball Out, and everyone listening, you'll see that, you know, I did an interview with Dame on that project called The Secret to Ballin.
Yes.
And I did an 18-minute interview with Dame, and I asked him some questions, and he gave it to me straight. You know what I'm saying? And I always respected that about Dame, because, you know, he's straight, no chaser.
Yeah,
you know
no doubt.
He's not one of those guys that's coming forth with, you know, trickery, or he's trying to just sell you something, you know, even though he's a good salesman. He's coming with information because he knows how hard it is to come up in the hood. You know what I'm saying? It's no secret that the ghettos have been created and things have been created a certain way for Black people to keep us oppressed and keep us down. And you know, the strong only survive when it comes to hood politics.
You ain't lying.
You know, as we all know. And so if you're Black and you're in the hood, and we just know that it's something else against you. So you need more strategy. You need more technique to take you to the next level. That's the most important thing that I put behind my intention behind writing Culture Vultures, which was originally called Reasonable Clout. And the reason I wanted to call it Reasonable Clout, which turned into the first section of the book, which was the name of the book initially, was because I felt like Dame, even though he didn't have Rockefeller anymore, there was still a strong amount of clout that this man had, because he's the Phil Jackson to those championships.
That's right.
So all those wins those guys had, he's the Phil Jackson.
No doubt.
He's the Tex Winter wrapped into one.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? He's Clemens, Tex Winter, and Phil Jackson all rolled into one.
No doubt.
You know, and so this guy was their manager, you know, which he felt was a bad idea. He learned that lesson. Don't be a manager and a CEO. That's conflicts interest.
No doubt.
Because the guy that you're managing over here, which is Jay-Z, he's going to look at you funny when you're managing Cameron.
Right.
You know, and it's going to create a kind of a riff and problems. And so, you know, it's very important that it was just very important for me to just give it to people raw. You know, I've never wrote a book. I did audio books.
Wow.
But my whole thing was, you know, I had to, excuse my French, I had to let my nuts hang on this one.
No doubt.
And record all this information and get all this stuff done. You know what I'm saying? I was never an interview dude. That really wasn't what I was supposed to do. I sat there with Dame for the hood. I sat there with Dame for you. I sat there with Dame for gangbangers. I sat there with Dame for all the Bloods, the Crips, the Vice Lords, the folks, every hood in the world, Louisiana, everybody, Jamaica. You know what I'm saying? And it turned out, because our YouTube page was crazy, as the analytics showed all those places that I sat out that I was thinking about when I put forth this information, it hit them, and they was really tuning in. You know what I'm saying? I was tripping when I see Jamaica was big numbers, and I would see like London big numbers, and I would see people in Japan and people. I'm like, damn, this is crazy.
Yeah, man.
You know, and people walking up to me in the street sometimes. It was really crazy too when I saw like people that I wouldn't even expect to watch Hiphop Motivation. An Arab dude came up to me one time, an Indian guy that didn't even look like he listened to hip hop.
Wow.
A white guy with his girlfriend one time. I was with my lady at the time, and he walked up to me going in Target. He was like, "Man, you Kenyatta." He took a picture with me. I'm looking at him like, and I looked at him like, this dude looked like he works, like he's like a yuppie or something. He don't even look like he needs this information, or he would be interested in seeing two Black men sit there and joke and laugh, but most of all talk about business, because he understands, you know. But I think that it sparked a lot of people beyond what we even recognize, because hey,
Sure
shit,
did.
man, if he did it and I did it, it's not out of hands for anyone else to do it. It's
No
easy,
doubt.
and really at this point, because all you gotta do is put forth some effort, put
That's
forth
right.
action.
That's
Because
right.
the pendulum swing is always gonna come back, man. It's always gonna compensate you for whatever you put in, man. But a lot of people think that they can cut corners, and you can't cut corners.
Nah, yeah, you ain't
You know what I'm
lying. You
saying?
can't
You're
cut
gonna have to
corners.
go through the bumps and
That's
bruises.
right. That's
You
right.
know what I'm saying? I mean, like we all know, we men and as women, when you're in a relationship, you're gonna go through some ups and
That's right.
downs.
That's
You're
right.
not gonna always agree,
That's
you
right.
know, but you have to set boundaries. You have to have principles. You have to have integrity. But the most important is the boundaries.
Boundaries.
Without boundaries, nothing works.
Yeah.
Without the lines in the street, we will crash head on.
Yeah.
Niggas is running lights. We would jack everything up in existence because there's no boundaries. Boundaries are very important, and you have to have boundaries when you go into business, whatever your purpose is. You know, keep
That's
your
right.
integrity.
You
Play by the rules.
no, you ain't
Create your
lying.
own rules, but play by those rules.
No doubt. You definitely not lying about that. Boundaries is because people look at boundaries as limitations, but you need that.
Right.
You definitely need that. How did you okay, let me just hold on. Let me just I know I got some stuff written down. I gotta get this in. Oh, you got a children's book. You got a children's book too.
Yeah, I got a children's book. Yeah, you know it's crazy. No one ever talks about that, but yeah.
No, that's important.
Book is out. Yeah,
that's important. I was like, I gotta make sure you talk about it's about hygiene. That is important. The children is important. We need to get to our children. Tell them what the book is about and the name of the book.
Right.
I'm gonna get it.
Oh, it's called My Barber's Hand Stinks. It's about a little boy named Kevin who, you know, his mother was trying to teach him give him some jewels on hygiene himself before he went to get his haircut, and he broke the rules, you know, and didn't listen to what his mother was telling him about washing his hair, washing his hands after using the bathroom, etc., brushing his teeth. You know, he was in the bathroom by himself, as most young kids do. If you don't go in there and follow after them and make sure they're doing what they're supposed to do, they'll rush and try to get back to their video game or to their television show and rinse off, opposed to putting some soap on that towel and washing themselves or washing their hair. And Kevin did this, and he went to the barbershop, and he was hit firsthand with what happens when you don't wash your hands and when you don't secure hygiene before you leave home. And really, you know, my intention behind that book was because the first major thing that most children learn is self-care. If they have caregivers that give them those jewels. And that is the first lesson that most children are supposed to learn, because self-care will stop you from, you know, it can move you away from getting bullied at times, because when people stink or people's shoes ain't tight or they're not looking clean, you know, they get talked about because the young child's mind is immature and they don't understand that this person may have went through something or they just may not know. And so why not continue to embrace the fact that we should be teaching our children about hygiene and how hygiene is a reflection, because when you keep yourself up, that means, you know, that's also a reflection of you feeling better about yourself and good about yourself. And so these things reflect to the outside world when you keep yourself up. That's why I wrote the book. You know what I'm saying? That was my first time even coming with a children's book. I just wanted to test it out. That was actually a test. And I'm gonna have some more stuff coming for that on that end. And the book I'm working on right now is Diary of a Simp. It's a relationship manual for men as well as women. But yeah,
I'm with that. And I'm with that hygiene. First off, we're in the pandemic. Let's just start there. We need the kids. We in the pandemic, people. Hygiene is the key. One of the keys to health. Period. If you're adult or a youngster.
It's key.
It's the key. We're in the pandemic.
Like, a lot of people don't understand. Like, you know, to me, that's one of the first steps and the first move that we all have to take in order to feel better about ourselves. You know, a lot of times, I'm backing into my driveway. But a lot of times, what happens is we get to a point where we overlook certain things, but those things are not to be overlooked, because the small things is what creates the larger things and takes us to the next level. Also, you know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, put forth that effort into what we're doing. You know what I'm saying? It keeps us on point. And you know, keeps us attractive and keeps us, you know, our frequency up.
You said Diary of a Simp.
You know, so why not teach children and parents at the same time to get back into implementing that discussion?
You say you Diary of a Simp. Yeah, that's necessary. I'm tired of seeing the Simps. I'm tired of this. We need to
Diary of a Simp, man. Like,
we need that.
And it's a real diary, man. It's real documentation of something that I followed and I've been a part of and I seen for myself. It's real stuff that people don't understand. Like most men don't understand, like the
No, they
principles of
don't.
being a man. They think that being a man is just giving and not receiving.
Yeah.
And the universe is based on reward. It's giving, it's action and reward.
That's
It's
right.
going back to the pendulum swing, brother. And it's natural. That's natural law, the law of rhythm. And you check it out. In order to get something, you have to give something, and it's reaping what you sow. And so we just don't understand that because we get caught up in sex.
Yeah.
And sex is the biggest trick that will make you a simp.
Yeah,
You know
ain't
what I'm
lying.
saying? When you follow that, and that's why porn is so fluent out there. They want you
Yes.
simping. They want you to be caught up in, all these girls on Instagram and what they look like, and because they got a big booty and this and that, and that's cute. You know what I'm saying? I like it like everybody else.
Me too.
Guess what? Guess what? That frequency keeps your frequency lower and brings her up because you putting her on a pedestal.
Yes.
So you in trouble out the gate.
This is so.
You know what I'm saying?
Put your purpose first, fellas. Y'all about to drop another classic.
Too, a lot of times, us as men, we go after women that don't like us really. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
It's like she didn't choose us. The woman didn't choose you.
Yes.
Sorry to sound like the pimp principles is involved in this, but the pimp principles are involved in this project because the name of the game is being chose.
That's right.
And not because you chose that you just picked the woman, but it has to be someone that, she chooses you, and then you look back and you say, okay, this is somebody that I can fool with, I like, and I can deal with.
That's right.
And we can build something together. And we get caught up in all that stuff, man. We get caught up in just being the giver and not really looking to receive, and then not putting her in a position to earn our attention, our non-sexual attention. And so we just be giving. And you know what I'm saying? I've been there. I'm sure you've been there. Most men have been there.
I got my story. I wish I had your
until
book.
We learned the lesson.
I wish I had your book earlier. It didn't even come out yet. I wish I had your book that you talked about 20 years ago.
Man, it's gonna be crazy out here, bro. Just like the Diary of a Wimpy Kid, it's the Diary of a Simp.
Yeah,
straight up.
Yo, Kenyatta, you got to come back on the show when you get. I'm gonna get that book. You got to come back and we got to talk about that.
Nah, I got you, man. That's
please,
that's yo. I'm filming Thinking Ball Out. I'm concentrating on Diary of a Simp.
Yo,
that's tuned for that.
Perfect project.
It's almost ready to send over to the editors, but I'm still making sure things is in place.
Oh, so it's almost done. It's done. It just needs to be. Oh man.
Yeah. I'm laying it out right now. I got about 70 pages of notes and different things I've been doing and over the years, and then I got like documents and stories from clients and friends and myself and these things that get you caught up, man. Like, a lot of times we actually participate in our own destruction. Most of the time we all do. You know what I'm saying? And we don't know it. You know what I'm saying? We get caught up in that womb. We get caught up in that orifices, man. And that's one of the main things. That's one of the main things. We play nice and we try to act a certain way, but a woman know what's going on.
Yeah, they can see through the
she know you in the trick bag once you just looking at that.
Yeah,
she got you.
Yo, you ain't lying. I mean, because I think that that's what I'm seeing these days. I'm seeing men get tripped up with women a lot. That's what I'm seeing. Yeah. I'm seeing that we really gotta concentrate because in the hood in the city, it's the women are running shit in the city because we raised by single mothers mostly. It's more it's definitely a matriarch the situation going on in the city, and our relationship to women is probably the one biggest problem. So one of the biggest problems in our community.
We put them first. We put them first. And it's supposed to be in balance, you know what I'm saying? But it's out of order because, like natural law shows you that the masculine principle is what ignites everything. So if you don't put yourself first, if you don't learn the art of selfish and the art of selfish, the word selfish is a word that always gets tripped up by a lot of people because they don't like that word. That's like a bad word. That's almost like submission. Right. Submission is a bad word to most women, and selfishness is a bad word to all, usually. Right. But if you look at the prefix ish means of or about the self, and self is before that, so you of or about the self.
That's right.
So when you see ish is just of or about, but before ish is self. And so if you're of or about yourself, that's the most beautiful thing you can be about. You know what I'm saying? Because again, a woman, the most attractive thing to a woman is a man on his purpose.
That's right.
It's not the man that's just focused on her. Right. The man focused on her usually gets put in the trick bag and she messing with somebody behind your back. I've been there.
Me too.
When I did that, when I did that, the
I've
few
done it.
times I've ever done that in my life, it always turned out to be a bad
You ain't
situation
lying.
because I put her on the pedestal. I made her bigger than myself in a lot of ways because it was like my neediness came out. We started needing sex and needing. I don't need. It's like, nah, man.
That's right.
You better off going in and playing with yourself than to be doing all that.
That's
You know what I'm saying? I
I'm
don't believe in that so much. Unless you have to, but you know what I'm saying, you don't want to waste your energy.
Right.
Because that's the most that's precious energy, brother. That's the seed.
Right.
And that's your energy. There's so much brain fluid that's in your semen. So if you understand that principle and that law, it's like you giving her that for nothing.
Yeah.
You giving her your essence, you giving her your free attention for nothing. Man, I'm not about to be DM and no chicks on. No, I'm not doing.
I don't do none of that.
I ain't. You know what I'm saying? I know brothers out here be like, yeah. Nah, I don't even waste my time with that because I already know what time it is with these chicks. Yeah, I already know what time it is.
Yeah, me too. I know the game.
If you doing it, imagine all the other guys doing it.
Miles Davis always said, I remember Miles, I know I read this before. Miles Davis used to be like, yo, semen retention is no, was it Muhammad Ali or
I think
Miles Davis?
It
was Miles Davis, right?
Either Miles Davis or Muhammad Ali, but what they say about semen retention is real, man.
Yeah. It's
a lot of people contradict and conflict with that, man, because everybody got their own beliefs and stuff, and all truths is but half truths under the law of polarity. But it's really based on you not wasting your seed, wasting your energy, wasting your time, because time is your most precious commodity.
You ain't lying.
And so, we all know as men, once you get that off, some men can go 2 or 3 more times after that or whatever, but man, brother, if you do, you're gonna be feeling it the next day. You feel drained usually. You know what I'm saying? You gotta take your vitamins, you gotta stay up on your health, get your herbs going. But why waste that seed, man? Why waste things? Why waste your masculinity and your consciousness on somebody that don't really deserve it and she ain't putting no work to get it?
You heard of Montauk?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I read that book, The Multi-Orgasmic Man, many years ago.
I'm gonna get him on the show.
That's one of my favorites up there because that's where I learned that. Yeah, that's where I learned about not just wasting that seed. You know what I'm saying? It's important.
I'm gonna try to get him on the show because he's around. I seen him on London Real.
That's a great person to get on the show. Like I love his interviews, man. Like he be going in, but it's like his speaking is sometimes off. It's sometimes choppy a little bit, but I love it.
Dope.
I love it. Yeah, Bobby Hemmitt, I love.
Bobby, I'm trying to get Bobby Hemmitt if he's well.
Prettier things, man.
What's up with? Because I know Bobby Hemmitt went through some medical situation. I gotta check and see if he's all right.
Yeah, Panic told me he's doing good right now, man. Last time I talked to Panic and I talked to Black Dot, shout them out. They both told me. Well, Panic mainly told me he was doing well. Like he's doing a lot better. He's not back on the speaking circuit, but he's doing well. He's doing
That's
good.
He's
at home. He's in Atlanta.
I'm glad to hear that because these people, they're bringing a different information and they opening people's minds to something different. And we need all these type of great thinkers like him, Phil Valentine. I listen to all of them. I listen to a lot of people, man, because I
listen to a lot of people too, man, and all races, man, all races of people. But it's like Bobby, though, there's something divinely special about Bobby because he's
people love Bobby Hemmitt.
Yeah, he's unorthodox and he's funny as hell.
Yeah.
Oh, I be sitting there, man. I be just dying like he just be. He got to a level, and the reason he's so good too, man. For this is some jewelry for everybody, and it's to me, he just got to that level because he stopped caring what people think. He stopped caring about how his stomach looked. He stopped caring about the size and how he's saying in his country. When you stop caring, man, when you get to a level where you just stop tripping off of who's looking at you and what are they paying attention? Are they thinking? That's when real confidence come out, man. You start expressing yourself regardless to your stammer in your voice or your stutter or you might not know exactly what to say. You just speak because it's coming from the heart. And Bobby Hemmitt was strictly from the heart, man. Really, that's a person I've never met physically, but have so much love for that brother because he did so much scholarship to bring forth information and it was recorded, it was documented.
Yeah.
He should be making tons of I
used to get those DVDs.
All his friends and people around him, man, people should be figuring out a way to really get him in a position, if they haven't already, to really make tons of money off of what he's already done.
He should,
because
definitely.
he's done so much. You know, and he did it out of love, man. He did it out of love, man. You could see it.
No, definitely. I met him. You could tell it's authentic. You just could tell who's coming from a good place and who's not. He's definitely one of them.
Absolutely.
Definitely. Dang, man, you just dropped juice. I'm glad you came on, man. You know what I'm saying? Because I know my views it's not extraordinary. You know what I'm saying? So the people who are coming on early, I really appreciate it, because I know y'all coming on because y'all may see something in me, or y'all might have seen a video or something, and y'all might be like, you know what, I'm gonna come on and I'm gonna represent, even though his numbers ain't gigantic yet, because it's gonna get there.
You know what it is,
I really
man.
appreciate
Never
it,
despise
Kenyatta.
small beginnings, man. Never despise small beginnings, man. Me and Dane first video had like 35 views on it for like a whole week, and then it just blew up because we kept doing it, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm a little impulsive when it comes to making moves and doing stuff, so I just kept grinding it, hitting it. You know, of course it was with Dame Dash, so you're gonna get numbers from that, but it was the intent behind it, man. My intention was in the right place.
Yeah. I don't think it was because it was just Dame Dash. I think it was just the content was good, B. Period. I don't think he was the content that you put out was so good that people just had to listen. Period. Like,
ultimately, you know, and you seen what it was. It was like people would like kind of try to like leave Dame for dead or some shit, and you know what I'm saying, he don't like to hear that, but that's where it was at, and I was just like, nah, not my homeboy.
Nah, Dame Dash is Yoda. Yeah, he is.
He Yoda to hip hop. He's the Yoda of hip hop.
Yo, you ain't lying. And you know what? I would like that streaming
service.
Robe
in some ears. He's Yoda.
That streaming service that he has, that streaming service that he's putting, streaming service, that's a big monumental mark for the culture. Like, people need to support that. Y'all need to support Kenyatta Griggs and what he's doing with the Hiphop Motivation. How do you come up with that logo? I like the logo too. The logo is dope. I always look at stuff like that.
Shout out to K Double out in New Jersy, my boy K Double.
You did your thing, yo.
Any work you see, like all my wording and stuff, K Double, man. K2BL on Instagram.
You did your thing, bro.
And then my boy John Robinson. You know what I'm saying?
John Robinson, you did your thing.
Hit me up.
Shout out.
K Double is fierce. Yeah, John Robinson was in a group called Science of Life, who was also connected to MF Doom, who we just found out passed. Yeah, and he was the first rapper on Next Level. And so John Robinson is connected with me in Hip Hop Motivation, so because he was the first person that connected me with K Double and you know, really helped me bring things to life. You know what I'm saying? Because he believed in what I was doing. You know what I'm saying? And shout John Robinson out also.
Yo, that logo is that logo is fierce. Yeah. I'm telling you, that logo is fit. That logo is dope, man.
That's the original right
show that logo is dope. Yo, I'm always looking at logos and stuff like that. So when I seen that, I was like, yeah. This is the way y'all put that together is dope.
Bro, when he sent that to me, man, I knew it was the one. I knew it was the one when I saw that flag. Yeah.
Shit is dope. I mean, so
boy K Double, man, one of the best at it, man. Like he's a hip hop dude, man. Like he's crazy.
I can see that.
Logos, man.
I can see it.
And I got Mass Mint coming out too, man. Mass Mint is coming. Right. I'm sorry for the delay. If anybody's been checking for me, like to put it out fully, they made a mistake with sending us sprayers instead of the misters. They're supposed to send misters for the mask. It's a disinfectant for the mask, and it makes the mask smell better.
Oh, you need that.
The main thing is with peppermint eucalyptus.
Oh, that's dope.
You know, helps you breathe when you got the mask on.
Yeah. That's a good idea. Yeah, I like that,
so it's Mass Mint, you know what I'm saying? It's a spray.
That's
dope. I got those coming, man, and K Double did the logo on that. You know, you can go on my page and check that out as well.
Yeah, I like that idea. I got my diffuser pumping out all types of stuff. I got lemon and eucalyptus in my diffuser now. I love essential oils, B. I love aromatherapy. I like, you know what I'm saying? Because I work in a hospital.
That's where I got the idea from that stuff, and then I was like, you know what?
That's a dope idea.
We need stuff for that mask because usually people ain't washing their mask every day.
Nah, they not.
And you talking in the mask and you walk around and you doing business.
Dope idea.
Why not spray that joint? Have something that can disinfect it.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Alcohol based, clean it real good without having to put it in the washing machine. It dries fast, and then it has like a eucalyptus kind of smell and vibe with a little citrus and peppermint. And then when you're speaking through it, you can smell it. You know what I'm saying? But it's not so much that it mess with your allergies because it's all natural.
No doubt. That's a dope idea, man. Yeah, I like that.
Appreciate it, man. And Bump Assassin is out. That's another one. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Thanks for I like that. I like that idea. I'm gonna cop that. I'm gonna cop that.
Definitely.
Let me ask you another question. So, do you think that you might be a part of that stream? Because I can see you on the screen doing motivational stuff. You think that you and Dame will connect and do something on his streaming platform? Because I can really see you doing some video stuff, like a series on video, something dope on his. Because he has a big platform for that. Like you could have your own thing going on with this hip hop. We really need this hip hop motivation. We need to keep doing
you know what,
this.
man? I talked to Dame the other day. I told him because I'm actually getting things together, properties together to finish up The Secret 2, which is the follow-up to Secret to Ballin. Getting that going, man. Yes, so I got to get my interviews. And it's a perfect time to do interviews right now because everybody at the house, man, it's easy to catch up with people today. So, you know, for anybody, like if I was actually back really in the game doing hip-hop motivation the way I was, you know what I'm saying, it would be crazy because what I would be doing is just hitting people up at the house, you know, and doing that. So that's what I'm about to do for the movie, though. I'm about to record and get with people. And that's also why you didn't see me go so heavy with just constantly interviewing different people because interviews with Dame were for a purpose, a divine purpose to me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like the first person I interviewed for Thinking Ball Out was 3 6 Mafia because 3 6 Mafia had a dope story.
Yeah, they sure do.
They sent me to their lawyers, and the lawyers was, you know how they do lawyers. It wasn't 3 6, but it was the lawyers, and I left the interview on the table, and I asked Dame what he do, and he did it. No lawyers involved, and he signed the release, and we was on. You know what I'm saying?
See, Dame is dope, man. I don't know why Dame is dope, man. I don't care what y'all say. I don't care what. Dame is, and y'all was giving out free game. Nobody was giving out game like that, man. Y'all was giving out game,
man. Like everybody on him now and using them up. Like everybody know, like he's always been smart, but everybody on it because, man, I'm gonna tell you, I know, man, that nigga is Yoda.
Yeah, man.
Dame is Yoda.
I was sitting there like, yo, he's giving you. Do you realize what type of? I was saying to myself, yo, I was telling my boys, I was like, you know that this game, people don't even talk like this. They don't even give up game like this.
That's why you used to see me on there laughing and smiling because I knew because Dave was crazy. That's why I used to be on facial expressions. Sometimes he would say stuff that, I used to tell him like, man, you saying the same stuff over and over again. You know what I'm saying? Like know, but it was for a purpose because someone that hasn't heard before needs to hear that.
They need to hear it.
And I stopped even saying that to him. So I was like, you know what? Let me shut up
because you always going to get
over
new
and
people
over again,
listening.
but it's the truth over and over again.
Yeah,
you know the way you go about things is you got to go to the future and come back. And that's why I said in the book, I had to package up into a simpler form of it's just called imagination. It's called dreaming, and having a vision. Visualization is key.
Oh, that's what I want to ask about.
Yeah, visualization is key.
Creative visualization. Yeah, tell us about that. Creative. Break that down for the people that want to, become more self-actualized. What's the process of creative visualization? What's that all about?
Well, visualization is how everything in existence exists today. Anything that's been created has been created first in the thought of the mind, as we all know. Imagination is key. Imagination is like the wedding ceremony between the conscious and subconscious mind. That's the wedding ceremony that takes place, and then they goes and they consummate, you know what I'm saying, and they make love, and then the manifestation is from the dream itself, and that's the seed. And so I just look at visualization as the key to everything because, from the computer to the cars that we see today, everything was a thought of the mind, and it all came from falling back and thinking, sitting still, thinking. Solitude helped these people get these ideas, you know what I'm saying? Driving in their car in traffic, and all of a sudden you get a spark of inspiration to do it, to bring forth something and or idea to write something or create something, you know what I'm saying? And then you begin to visualize all the possibilities that exist. You know what I'm saying? You stay away from visualizing. If you stay away from visualizing the destruction and the disaster that could take place,
we do that a lot.
You really can get it off, and you can really execute these things and give birth to them. Because there are going to be ups and downs. There are going to be times where you don't feel as motivated, man. And when you don't feel motivated, my favorite thing to do when I don't feel as motivated and I feel, a little over bogged down with pressure and so much stuff going on is I sit still and I get into meditation, man. And if you don't know how to meditate, just sit still and get quiet. Turn that television off, that radio off, and just picture yourself having and doing the things that you really want to do. You know what I'm saying? And if it's not easy for you to do that, just visualize yourself within yourself doing some things, you know what I'm saying? I think all of us can dream. It's just all of us don't want to dream unless we go to sleep. You know, we don't want to we don't want to dream until we go to sleep,
Yeah.
and not knowing that we, you know, we have control over these visions that we have and these things that take place in our life because we don't understand the masculine and feminine principle of ourselves. We think that it's just something outside of ourselves that gives us everything. And once you get caught up in that mindset, you're in trouble. Imagination is key.
Yeah, you ain't lying. You just brought up another thought. I need to get some people that's some people that's into lucid dreaming on the show. Because we keep talking about dream, I need to get some lucid dreamers out there on this. Like, I need to get some scientists that's researching lucid dreaming.
Oh yeah,
yeah, I'm into that too. But let me ask you, let me see. Make sure. Oh, I'm glad I wrote my notes down. I was watching. There's a physicist guy named Makako Kiyako. I think that's how you say his name. Well, anyway, he's a physicist, and he was talking about the universe is that the scientists have a new theory that suggests the universe is a simulation, like nothing is real. You heard about that? I seen that on the news. I said, "Oh
yeah." I have a book called it's a book by it's called the some universe. It's the it's another book
the
from
holographic universe.
Bobby Hemmitt he used to talk about.
Was it
something universe? I forgot
it's
what it's
not
called.
The holographic universe.
Holographic universe. That's that book. And so that book that breaks that down. That was done. He wrote that book a long time ago.
I know. I need to get another copy.
Like people say that this is the reality is the dreams and imagination, and they say that this is just, you know, this is Maya and this is not real in a sense. You know what I'm saying? This is a product of the imagination.
Yeah,
you know, what you say.
Yeah, he said that everything is not real. Like, you know what I'm saying? I was just like, yo, that we in a simulation. I was like, yo, know what? This sounds like the holographic universe. My boy tells me about that all the time.
It's funny because when you get into a realm of the death, when you start going into the death realm, that's when you really expand your consciousness. Because you're gonna die. Everyone's gonna die one day. I know we don't like to face it and think about it, but damn it, I mean, it's just like what's going on right now. They talking about the vaccine, talking about the snap. Well, what if there's some people that don't care if they catch it, they want to die? Like, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Dying is the next level of existence. You know what I'm saying? That's the spiritual realm.
Question
this
for
right
you.
Here, being that it is a holographic universe, this is just Maya. This is just substance. It's just a product of different thoughts and ideas.
Okay,
you know
now
what I'm saying? But people, we don't get into the death realm because that's like scary. That's that's fear, and fear shuts you down, man.
That's true.
That's why everybody right now is moving in their feminine principle and being led instead of taking a little time to do a little research and look into things, because the virus is, it's a real thing, I'm sure, and it's created, whatever it is, and common cold is a real thing, flu is a real thing, and as we know, we all had those before, I'm sure, and but at the same time, I don't know, man. I just look at science of things, man. I don't see birds falling out the sky because they breathe the same air. I don't see dogs falling out dying. I went to the beach the other day. Ain't no whales washed up on the shore and no fish and stuff like that. So I feel like God's the universe is connected to source energy is all. They can't shut it down. It's going to exist regardless. It's going to churn vibrational frequencies and it's going to keep circulating regardless to what happens. Okay. And so right now they're just trying to stop us from connecting with each other more than anything else, because they know that connecting with one another raises consciousness, especially when consciousness is at an all-time high right now, being that the conjunction is taking place.
Question for you. Do you know anything about life extension?
Life extension? No, I don't know much about life extension, but I know that, to me, even hearing that title, life extension, to me, life extension is more or less understanding the death principle. Because to me, life is shortened with fear. And when you move away from fear, that's when you're really living a true life. You're really living the life of your dreams is when you move away from fear. Yeah, so I feel like when you drop fear, things begin to become extended or amplified, shall you say, because you no longer have those boundaries and those borders cutting you off and stopping you from going to the next level or whatever that level is.
That's true. Fear is definitely a roadblock.
Fear is like, because if I,
fear is the mind killer.
Much about the science of what you're saying, but to me, if anything can extend anything and amplify anything within the human psyche, it will be to drop fear. And the best, most profound way to drop fear is get into the death realm and understand what that is. Because if you know and you keep in mind you're gonna die one day, you will pass your form one day. You don't know when.
Well,
if you understand that principle and you begin to move without fear of that principle, and you begin to use every single day in accordance to becoming a better version of yourself and a greater version of yourself out here in the universe, out here in the world, excuse me, then it seems that to me that begins to extend life. That begins to amplify everything you're doing. For me, it's amplified everything because I went through the death situation with getting shot the way I did. You know what I'm saying? Laying on the ground, cops standing in my blood, harassing me in that position, asking me what I do to deserve this. You know what I'm saying? If you can't tell us your name, we can't get you. If you can't tell us your name, we can't get you no help. Yeah, white cop and a Mexican cop.
Yeah, a cop asked you that while you was down on the floor, man?
I'm down there, shot in my liver, my lung. I couldn't breathe.
He asked you what you do to deserve this?
Word. But the ambulance was already coming. Some people in the building already had called. But I'm saying, like, I know. And then in the ambulance people was like not really connected. They read newspapers, mask falling off my face and stuff, and I can't breathe and I need the air. And they not really paying attention. They hitting corners. I have to hold myself up on the gurney. You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying once you really understand the death realm and then you embrace the fact that you will have a date, then you begin to amplify your life. Then you can extend life. That's what real life is to me. Real living is living without so much fear.
Yeah, that's
now
true.
You will have to
I agree with that.
things in order to protect yourself.
Right, that's different though. That's just being smart.
Electrical socket.
That's
right.
That's
fear
different.
Right,
that's a healthy fear.
Both ways.
That's a healthy fear. But there's negative fear
that's
too.
Healthy fear.
Right.
We talking about the fear of you watching TV and you watching the news and you get depressed because everything that's going on, and you have to transcend everything that's going on by going on top of the pendulum swing instead of being a useless eater on the bottom of it, being swung back and forth and tossed and turned. And you know what I'm saying? And that's what that analogy in the Bible was all about when he talked about the story of the character Jesus walking on water. You know what I'm saying? He was above the pendulum swing. He was above the ups and the downs. He looked at both ends of the swing as one and the same. That's the story it was trying to show you, because that's where you should be. Right. The Christ consciousness within yourself should be there.
Right.
That wasn't a last name. That's a piece. That's consciousness.
Definitely.
That's where you should be in your mindset, to be above those things.
Definitely.
Because death is going to happen. You're going to have good. You're going to have bad. You have life. You're going to have death.
Do you think that people, well, you know, in the Bible they have a thing called the I think it's called the Methuselah. I think that's how you say it. Methuselah, the person who lived like 900 years. Do you think that is capable? Do you think that science can take us? There will be a point where science can extend the healthy lifespan to above the lifespan that we live now. You know what I would like to see before you answer
things
that
could be done.
Wait,
there's people that live many years, but you know, like my grandmother lived to be 101 years old, and when I was looking at her at her party, you know, I talked to her and she was still in her right mind when she turned 100. And 90, when she was 99, she was in her right mind. I was asking her questions. I said, man, what do you think about all these vegans and all these people eating no meat and all this stuff going on today? And she was like, I said, how did y'all react to stuff like that? She said, that was not a part of our lifestyle. And and then she said, I said, but how did you protect yourself from the food and hearing this and hearing that? And then she bowed her head and she prayed over the food. And then she started eating. You know what I'm saying? Somebody's just, you know, and it's something so simple, but it was like, damn it. You know what I'm saying? It's like what you think, what you transmit onto what you're doing makes it doubly more amplified to give you what you think it is. You see what I'm saying? Some people smoke weed and don't think it's bad for them. Some people smoke cigarettes all their life and don't die from lung cancer.
Right.
You know, you see this happen. You see people smoke all their life until they're 90 years old. They still smoking cigarettes. They don't care. They eating pork. They eating all kinds of shit.
That's true.
And it's based on the faculties of your mind. More than anything else, because sometimes knowing something can be a detriment to you as much as not knowing. When you don't know something, like a lot of children don't get hurt all the time. They might bump their knee and bump their head, but some children don't get hurt like us when we was kids because we didn't know that was dangerous to jump off the roof. We didn't know that was dangerous not to do a certain thing. We land on our feet, we might feel a little tweak in the ankle, but we don't get as hurt as someone that knows and keeps in mind that something is bad for them, and then they do it and it's really bad for them. You know what I'm saying? Because that's connected to it as well. Not to say that certain heights you can kill yourself, definitely. As we all know, but it's all about what you know and what you don't know, and based on your belief and what you know to be true for yourself. You know what I'm
Definitely.
saying? But being extending life and doing that stuff, the question to me is extending it. If you're extending it, why extend something and you're not really able to bring forth more to the planet, as far as, you know what I'm saying, like, you know, with your family, and you're not raising consciousness. Like, it's a lot to it to me,
Oh yeah,
because
yeah,
it's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
well,
It's definitely a layered
death is a
question.
beautiful thing because it is the great reset spiritually. It's the great reset. You just reset and you
Mm.
return back to which you came, and that's the spiritual essence of yourself. That's the source energy that you return to.
Can
So
I?
it's, to me, it's like, it's a beautiful thing. It's not sad when people die to me no more, because I'm conscious. I understand natural law. I understand the principle of life.
Right.
I understand the death principle.
I would definitely like to have a debate against people who believe that there's not an afterlife, and between black people who believe that there's an afterlife and black people who don't believe there's an afterlife. I would love to see a debate against metaphysicians, people who believe who swing to the pendulum of metaphysics, and people who are into the science realm, who are just into materialism. I would love to see a great debate on that, because I want to see, because I feel like, you know, we come to the point where as though we should investigate and debate these different ideas that we hold so dearly so long. I would just like to see what comes out of that, what people think about these
That would
two
be an
sides.
interesting debate, but you know, there again, that debate would be like, just, it would be so scattered, because
Mm-hmm.
no one has really truly left and came back to tell you. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And so, but what we're living off of, and what we know to be true, is what people have taught us and told us. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Based on what they want, they hope it is. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? But to me, returning back to the essence in the spiritual realm is like, it's all. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
it's like the breathing out. It's like the breathing in real deep, and the breathing out is an aspect
Yeah.
of that. It's like, it's you come in, it's a release.
Mm-hmm.
It's returning back to the peace and the love that created you, your
Mm-hmm.
essence. You know what I'm saying? Your soul. You know, because, you know, everyone don't have soul, but, you know, they have
Mm-hmm.
spirits. You know, as we
What's
know,
soul
you
to
know,
you?
a
What
roach
does it?
has a spirit.
What soul means to you?
Well, soul is the ultimate energy that's connected divinely to the pineal gland. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? That connects us to the ethers of the universe. That really connects us to Mother Nature. You know,
Mm.
why out of ancient Kemet, we had a language and something that we call metanetta,
Right.
meaning
Right.
connected to nature.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, it's like that soul is like that essence, that power source, that energy. It's up under
Mm-hmm.
that gastrointestinal area down here, up under that, you know what I'm saying, that lower chakra. You know what I'm saying? That's that power source. You know what I'm saying? That's why we
Mm.
have soul music. That expression is soul. It's from the heart. It's from the energy below yourself, and we bring it forth. You know,
Mm.
that's why hip hop has soul to it in the beginning era. It was
Mm.
soul. People was really into it. When you saw Run DMC and you seen Run,
Mm.
that's soul right there. You know what I'm saying? You couldn't tell him nothing.
Okay, I got another question for you. If we built pyramids in ancient Egypt, right? How come we don't have our own versions of pyramids today?
Well, it's based on indoctrination, and you know, as a people spiritually, we're senile. We're the oldest people on the planet, so a lot of us are senile. We forgot. We
Mm.
don't know. We've lost contact with these things because we've been indoctrinated to believe that the things that are occult, or the things so-called that they call devil worshiping, which is occult knowledge, is is
Mm.
is is something we stay away from, because black people are afraid of who? The devil.
Mm.
You know, most black people are afraid of the devil. They're afraid of
Mm.
Satan. And for all respect to it, yes, you should be how it's been taught to you.
Mm.
But the name of the game is to understand the balance of life. You have to understand the dark as well as the light. You
Mm.
know, to know the darkness is to know the light,
Mm.
because contrast is connected to growth.
Mm.
Everyone is in a dark place when they don't know something, but as you begin to enlighten yourself and become conscious, it is like those little track lights that you see when you turn the light up, those turning lights that you see when
Right.
you turn up, and the light begins to get brighter and brighter as you become to raise your consciousness, as you get knowledge, as you
Mm.
begin to read things and listen to things that enhance your abilities as a human being. You know,
Mm.
because conscious is everything. That's key.
Yeah, definitely.
That's key.
That I'd agree with. Conscious is definitely everything. That's
Oh, it's
you ain't
key.
lying.
It's definitely key. And a lot of times we get caught up in, you know, we get caught up in the evil stuff, the spookyism, you
Mm-hmm.
know, so a lot of us forget, And we don't take time to research and study these things, because when you start studying these things and you begin to, like, again, to enlighten yourself to some past things that our ancestors have done, it begins to not be so far-fetched from yourself, and you begin to understand that this is also connected to you, because we are our ancestors, because without them we wouldn't exist.
You ain't lying.
You know,
We on the
many
shoulders of our
moons ago,
ancestors.
people that you never even knew existed.
Definitely.
If you wouldn't be here right now, we wouldn't
No
even
doubt.
have this conversation if they didn't exist many
Definitely.
moons ago.
We
So
standing on the shoulders of giants. And you know what? It's funny because I was listening. It's crazy because I was listening to Karis One last night. He said the same thing. He said the darkness. He said the light exposes the darkness, or the darkness exposes the light. He was talking about that contrast the other day. But yo,
yeah, Karis One always dropping it, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's one of our great scholars, man, out here.
Yeah,
You know,
yo.
and it's like, that's another thing too, is like a lot of us, we actually try to put a trademark or a patent on knowledge and information, and none of us can do that.
Yeah,
You know,
you
none
ain't
of us is
lying.
greater than the next.
Definitely.
You know, we all have something to teach, and we all have something to say.
Definitely.
You know, and that's why I spend more time listening instead of talking most of the time when I'm, you know, around people. I do more listening than anything else. I listen, you know, because, and I had to train myself doing that more through listening to audiobooks, because, you know, talking and just expression can be, you know, that's easy to do for most people, because, you know, they don't take the time to listen, you know, and I had to learn to do that within my personal relationships, especially with women. Listen, focus in and listen, you know, and what you find with listening and sitting still and getting quiet, you know, it brings a sort of equilibrium to yourself, you know, it puts you in balance to everything. You know, you got a great balance going on, opposed to just being so one-sided with expression. You know, you understand that, you know, in listening and understanding and comprehending what's being said and what you're hearing, that's important. Just like reading, you know, you might be able to read Cat Bad Hat, but do you really understand what those things are, and do you actually comprehend what you're reading or listening to? And so that's why it's very important that I feel like one of the best things anyone can do to enhance their minds is getting more into tune with listening to more audiobooks, audio programs, when they're driving, if they're watching something, you know, something's being played on YouTube, listening and really processing the information. You know, put some Bobby Hemmitt on, Phil Valentine, or Tariq Nasheed, and whoever you like to listen to. You know, just put these things on, and then, you know, what happens is you start learning that, you know, when you quiet the mind, you actually process this information and listen, because you're going to hear some bullshit. You're going to hear some things you don't agree with.
Oh, yeah.
You know, that's how it works. You know, there's things Bobby said that seem funny and stuff when you hear it now. But for the most part, you know, when you understand the law of polarity, going back to natural law, all truths are but half true. That's the profound statement of the law of polarity.
Definitely.
All truths are but half true. So even in debate, debate is folly, because it's a half true. It's true, and this one's true too. There's always a half true to something. It's like when someone tells you, "Oh, she did this to me," or "He did this to me." Well, let's take a look at the other side of this now. Let's take a look at what you brought into what you implemented and what you were doing in the situation that created this problem. And that's why the book Diary of a Simp is just not jumping on women. It's also showing us as men how to become better men.
Definitely.
You know,
that's what it's all about.
Women are going to love as well, because it's really just going over some things in relationships that are not really talked about, really taboo between men and women. And, you know, it always starts with the formative years, how we were raised. You know, our mothers treating us a certain way or not treating us a certain way. And that works the same with women. You know, how whoever your caregiver was, you could have been adopted, but whatever happened, the formative years always shows itself on the screen of your life as you get older. As a computer, with the format of the computer, always shows itself on the screen. You know, it's an old school computer, so it's an old school processor.
Definitely.
It's an old school format. And so it shows the old school print on the computer, like back in the day when the first Macs came out. So it's all about the formative years. And so it's taking a look at it. It's not dwelling on it. It's not using unforgiveness to move forward. What it is now that you're an adult, it's time to upload new software into the psyche, into that mental computer up here. You know what I'm saying? It's time to implement new software, new programs. That word program again, new programs that bring you forth, put you into a new mental shift, shift your paradigm, bring you closer and closer to your real true purpose and what it is that you want to do in life. You know what I'm saying? And that's what Diary of a Simp more is about. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
The word simp is a tricky word, but you know, I like that word. You know what I'm saying?
No, but I know where you're coming from.
But I like that word.
I know where you're coming from. It's all about it's going inward and you know what I'm saying, and dealing with what you need to deal with. And
Absolutely.
it's more about what you're dealing with versus being against women. You
Yeah.
100% right, because as men we forget about our purpose and we just chase tail all day.
Forgetting about your purpose. Forgetting about your purpose, or
That's what people do.
falling off your purpose is the quickest way to lose the woman that you do have.
Yeah. So
Now she might go anyway, because it's just your turn at the
Right.
time you have her. But getting off your purpose and getting off your mission as a man, that is very unattractive to a woman, to most women. And if they're not unattractive, if that attracts them, that you're not on your purpose, then they're not really worth keeping, because they don't understand what life is all about.
Definitely.
The masculine principle of everyone has to have a purpose, has to have some form of input in order to impregnate the subconscious mind.
Definitely.
And if you are just a person sitting on the couch and you ain't thinking about doing nothing, man or woman, you're in trouble.
Definitely.
Waste of space.
Definitely.
I think my phone about to go dead too. It's crazy.
No, but it's all, Kenyatta, thank you, man. Anything you want to say before we head out, man? You drop mad gems in this convo. I really appreciate it.
Man, I hope that what I said is
really appreciate
touches the hearts and the minds of people more than anything else. Matter if it's 2 people, 1 person, or 0 people. Somebody way down the line years from now may hear it. But the main thing that I want people to understand is that your belief in yourself is your belief in God, and your belief in God is your belief in yourself. And so with that, you take that and use that and utilize that, and understand that you have to move from believing into knowing that you have the power, knowing that you have everything you need to get started.
That's right.
You don't have to wait for someone to throw you the ball to go play ball. You can go out there and start running drills right now, whatever your purpose is. You can start running drills. You can start doing those laps. You can start going through the whole process of building yourself up, because the name of the game is to start within yourself. And when you start within, it's easier for things to change outside of yourself. It's way easier. And the way you start within is getting quiet and really tapping into to what's in your heart, what you really feel, what you really, really feel within yourself, that will make you happy if you could do it every single day, even if you weren't getting paid, but just your bills getting paid, everything was getting taken care of. What would you love to do every single day of your life? And you just can live with yourself. You're happy. That's why women are attracted to purpose when it comes to men, because the man that's doing his purpose, he could work a job, but the man that just works a job and he comes home bogged down and he don't really like being there, that's unattractive to a woman.
Yeah,
women don't want to see that. They want to see a man that's saying like, damn, I came from that job, but guess what? I'm working on my thing so I can get that off, and we doing this, and she's looking at you like, yeah, baby, and she want to work with you. And it's a process, man. It's it's one of those things where you want to stay focused on purpose. You want your purpose to come out from your heart. What do you really want to do? What do you love to do? What's your hobby? Start with your hobbies. Like I told one of my boys, he like video games. Why don't you do a video game blog and test games out? And then those do well these too. Different companies that send you free games and test out after a while.
Hell yeah.
There's always room. There's room for everything in this thing today. What I'm saying? Look at YouTube. You can get a show about anything. You can get a show on cooking and how to make a tuna sandwich. Damn it. Like, come on.
Yeah, you ain't. Well,
it's easy, bro.
You ain't lying. And, Kenyatta, thank you, man. Thank you for dropping these jewels. And when you come out with that book, Diary of the Simp, please come back to the Institute. When you definitely have a platform. Whenever you want to promote or you want to say anything, you definitely could come on here, man. My doors will always be open to you.
Thank you for having me, man.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
Kenyatta Griggs, Lord Maitreya.
Sorry for the delay too, man. I know I had to switch some things around, but hey, I
wasn't sweating it.
I had to get it to you.
I already know you. I already know you, good brother. I wasn't sweating it. I was like, Kenyatta gonna come when he can come. He's gonna come. So I wasn't even worried. I wasn't concerned.
Had to work some things out, but it worked itself out, man.
It sure did. And you blessed me with a dope conversation, and I can't wait to drop this. Kenyatta,
it's all good, man. And then send it to me, man, so I can post up clips, man.
Definitely. I'm gonna send you a link.
I appreciate you, man. Thank you, brother, man.
Thank you, man.
Shout out to everybody out there listening, man. I hope I said something that make you look into things a little further, and that's about it, man. I ain't no know-it-all, but I tell you one damn thing, man. I'm trying to, always progress as a human being every single day of my life, man.
No doubt.
And I don't run away from pain. I run to it so that way I can, grow from it, because contrast creates growth.
No doubt. And that's Kenyatta Griggs. Hip-hop motivation, y'all. We out.
Peace.
Peace. That was